Hello, hello. Back with another touhou normal 1cc playthrough. Touhou 8 here, finish it on Sunday. I enjoy doing these so much. I just figured I'd probably do this for every game in the series now. I didn't think I would enjoy doing these this much, but I don't know. It's fun to look back at the gameplay, talk about it. So pretty usual stage 1 shenanigans here. So I'll try and talk about my thoughts on the game overall, I suppose. Kind of like I did in the last video. What I thought this the first time I played 7 as well, but the ways Zun is able to consistently push these games further is consistently impressive. I didn't know if it was just going to be an impressive jump from 6 to 7, but sure enough, the jump from 7 to 8 is just as impressive. There's a lot going on mechanically in this game, at least especially compared to 7 and 6 as well. The background art has just gone to a whole new level. I mean, I'm sure once we're in A&T, you'll see for yourself, and you might even know already, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I mentioned the game mechanics, so I should probably talk about them a bit, because there's quite a few strange little oddities in this one. So probably the biggest thing, or the thing you'll notice first, is the little meter down in the bottom left there, the human yokai meter. That's what the H and Y stand for. As far as I can tell, this is just for points. You get more points if you spend more of the stage in either human or yokai, or with your human or yokai character at 80% or higher. If that sounds confusing, just think of it like having one character out more often than the other gets you more points. And yeah, I think it really is just more points, which obviously can contribute to more lives, but yeah, other than that, I don't believe it has a real impact, a real game mechanic. Another thing I just missed there is time. When you move, I think it's point based. I'm almost certain it's point based. But the more damage you're dealing, the more enemies you're killing, the more points you're collecting. You'll see these tiny blue balls that drop from enemies at times. Those are the time points. Those lead up to the end of the stage, where if you have enough, that you can see on the right there, you have that time counter moving up when you're collecting these points, when you're dealing damage, defeating enemies. That'll lead into challenging a sort of optional last spell, final spell on the boss, that final boss of that stage, which I think it is for more points. It's more content, more bragging rights kind of stuff, because again, it is optional. If you get hit during it, you don't lose a life. You can't bomb during it either. It's totally just, for your Danmaku pleasure, you have fun. And I would say that, yeah, this is probably the most fun I've had with a Touhou game so far. This game is just a blast to play through. So many cool bosses, so many great stages, like art I mentioned earlier. The OST is incredible. I feel kind of bad because I glazed the 6 OST when I was talking about that game, and I didn't quite glaze the 7 OST. But I obviously had great things to say about several songs in that game. And now I'm here playing 8, and I'm like, wow, again, the music just, it's it's beyond words. It's insane how Zune is able to consistently produce such thematically perfect and technically impressive music. It really is something special. It's always a pleasure playing through these games just to hear more of his music. Right. Speaking of mechanics, speaking of final spells or last spells, this is the first, maybe the last as well, game where you have a last spell yourself. If you get hit and you have at least 2 bombs, I believe, the screen will flash red, and if you bomb while that red flash happens, you can negate your death, kind of like perfect bombing, and you will get a unique bomb, essentially, that does significantly more damage, but it costs you 2 bombs to do. So, in some ways, it's almost a nerf or a balance change because you are using 2 bombs to save yourself if you get hit, but at the same time, it's now easier to do it, and you get a lot more damage for it as well, which of course can be really useful to help you push through a tricky spell card or a tricky pattern. So yeah, I know I said, this kind of dismissively, stage 1 stuff, stage 2 stuff, pretty easy so far. But even this game feels like, again, I said the same thing in 7. It feels like it's gotten harder, even just at the earlier stages. Still on normal. I'm not playing Ray Mouet anymore just because how this game works. There's no Ray Mouet. There's just, oh, what's the team name for team? It's not Team Hawker Day. It's Team Barrier or Team Boundary or something like that. But yeah, I'm still on that homing amulet grind. And the attentions to detail in this are just the little things, like Yukari having Ron as her what I don't know what you call her homing bullet, her homing attack. She just flies into whatever enemy and spins on them. It's great. It's great. What can I say? But now we're getting in to some more difficult stuff. We're on stage 3 with Kane here. Pretty sure. Yeah. So it's an embarrassing first death, kind of a nothing burger death. Pretty sure I was just passively moving around and just ran into it, not paying too much attention. And you can see I'm a little on edge now, bombing just to make sure I don't lose another life to the mid boss. But same 1-up structure here again, as it's been in the past 2 games as well. 1-up on stage 3 and stage 5 mid-boss. Bombs are very different in this game, though. There are more than just, 2 mid-bosses to get extra bombs from. There are several enemy patterns just there, actually, where if you kill the enemy, you will get bombs. Which is good, because as I mentioned earlier, your last spell, your counter bomb, costs 2 bombs now. So you're going to want to stock up on bombs. So yeah, a little... I wouldn't say, I don't know if disappointed is the right word with the team feature, the tag feature. It's not what I expected, I guess. And I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. Your second character is kind of just it's just a different focus pattern than what you're used to. And even in some ways, Yukari here is not all too different from Reimu B's focus, with the needles from 7 and 6. But it's fine. It's fun. It's definitely fun to have the team dialogue rather than just the normal MCs chattering with the bosses. Okay, so here's a fairly tricky spell card. Um, you'll see these rows come down, these blue rows followed up by these jelly donuts. It's pretty easy to slip through the blue rows. I don't think anyone will have too much problem with that, but especially with Team Reimu team, whatever it's called, you can get stuck and not being able to get through these red lines here. And if you squeeze, obviously you wouldn't want to run in there right now, you'd die, but I think these fan out enough that you'd be able to squeeze by the jelly donut and through the red aisle. But what I usually prefer to do is go around the whole thing, and then you can kind of loop back around here and then head back down once the batch of red stuff is all cleared out for the next blue set of bullets. Let's see if I do that here. Yep. I find myself blocked off, but I managed to slip through, get back to the center. Very dicey here. You'll have to excuse me. There's two endings to this game, right? There's the final A boss and there's final B boss. So I've got two recordings of this game I've had to run through. And I can't exactly remember what I end up doing in which run at this point. It's been, like I said, I finished this Sunday. I'm recording this Tuesday. So it's been a few days since. I do want to talk about this spell card, brief as it is, because this is a super painful one, at least for me. The goal is to find this sweet spot in the crystal pattern, or whatever these are, these laser patterns, and you have to stay within those crystals and dodge around. Obviously, I don't. I just got hit by the arrow there. And well, you know, that's quite sad because I'm not going to get to talk about it much more. Because yeah, so that was it right there. By the way, that at least I can demonstrate that in this this clip here. Me doing the last spell, what it looks like. You saw the screen flash red there real quick. You get a unique spell. We did so much damage that I don't even have to worry about dealing with the spell card again, right? I'll just hold Z for a few more seconds and then I'm through it. I might look at the extra footage from the other run and see if I can demonstrate some of the things I'm talking about, like missing, like that last spell card there, because that is what else am I gonna do? I was only planning or thinking of using the second run to just show the new stuff, right? The different last stage and the different final boss. But that might be a good idea to interlace some of that stuff I did better, stuff I demonstrated better in that other run. Future Zach here, showing off this spell card I was talking about earlier. Yeah, did you see it? Let's look again. Oh, I went too far back. This is the Kane fight, and this is that spell card I mentioned. I ended up final bombing through, or last spell, whatever you want to call it. The 10 different things I'm going to call it. Anyway, you can see here. Blue lines come down. I'm going to slip right through the middle there. And there, you can see it. The red stuff's on its way, but I managed to get around it this time. And I'm right back in spot to keep shooting at Kane, and then I get hit anyway by the blue bullet. But you got a demonstration. You got a demonstration of what I was talking about there. Now, let's also see if I do better on this crystal spell here. Yes, I do. I do much better. You can see how precarious it is, though. I ended up getting hit by a laser there, but you can see the idea of it at least. You're looking for a space in between those lasers where you can maneuver around a bit. That's the ticket to it. So yeah, we're on stage 4 here. Some of the stage 4s end up being pretty brutal in these games. I know I complained a decent amount about it in 7. And I did end up perfect bombing there, but I think I got a bomb back from killing one of those enemies, and it's like it really does. Yeah, you said that was really fast, but if you got a sharp eye, you'll see that little green square quickly zip into me. I think oops, I think this fairy ends up dropping it. It's so much. There. Okay, yeah, there it is. All right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, got a bomb there. Stage 4 gives out a lot of bombs for killing enemies, if I remember correctly. I mean, this is the stage 2 where the art really starts to go crazy. That shot with the moon showing up in the back there is so fun. And of course, because, Zuna has complete control over the timing, with the way he designs these bullet hells, he can have the music sync up perfectly with the reveal of the giant moon in the background. It's really cool. But yeah, kind of glossed over it. Fighting Marisa. So this is another one of those fights that can change depending on who you play in this game, which is pretty cool. I mean, it adds a lot of replay value to this game. Like I said, I had a lot of fun playing through this game. I tried every team at least once just because I wanted to see what all the differences you can, see are, what all can change between playthroughs. And yeah, there's a Reimu fight as well if you pick Marisa's team or Sakuya's team, but I didn't do that, so I don't have footage of the Reimu boss fight. Maybe I'll revisit these games once I'm through them all, and do more focused like boss breakdowns of specific attack patterns and spell cards. But what I should be doing is talking about this freaking cool spell card right here, because this is a little bit tricky, but the solution is pretty darn cool. One general tip for Marisa is these stars are a lot scarier looking than they actually are. You can get pretty close to these things and be pretty safe. And you're gonna be forced to figure that out because, as you can see, these are some tight lines here of these stars. And I get pretty lucky here. I don't know. Ron beats enough snot out of Marisa that it cancels the attack pattern. But here, this spell card is it's such a cool card. Okay, so you have these hexes, right? Or these, and they're moving. What is this? Counterclockwise around the screen, and they're leaving these trails of stars as they move around and outward. So what you want to do is you want to find one of these trails of stars, probably this yellow one. This is the one you're probably going to be closest to, and you want to get real cozy with it. So you want to bunch up, because what's going to happen is these are all going to compress in on Marisa. But they're also going to spin around, and it's easier. You'll understand it better if you just see it, I imagine. But you want to be in between here, these lanes, and you can see as they start to collapse in, you want to move towards Marisa through whatever line in the stars you're on, and then just stay with it. So you can see this is the line. These are the two lines I was between before, right here, and I'm moving to the right here, up and to the right, to stay ahead of this new line coming out with these red stars. And slip through that gap in the red stars when it shows itself. Now you can see we're in this sort of horseshoe here of stars, just moving around Marisa. We're playing Team Hakure, so we don't have to worry about damaging Marisa. Ron's on it for us. I end up bombing out of it here, but if I Yeah. See, if I hadn't stayed within this oncoming trail of stars, I would have been just fine. So I should have hung out back here. I ended up getting trapped. And this hex in the background here is moving this way, dropping stars out. So that might be another one of those things I did better in the other playthrough. So you can see though, resetting, going right back where I was, finding my lane between, finding my spot between two lanes of stars. Broke the spell, got a 1-up from the points. And that was just the mid-boss. Yeah, you know. I guess it wasn't the mid-boss, technically. I mean, I guess it's technically the mid-boss, but Maurice's theme's playing now, by the way, so how much of a mid-boss is it really? So yeah, there you can see more bombs falling. It's a pretty basic spell pattern here. A little nonsense, kind of stars moving all about randomly. I'm hanging back pretty far here, but I found generally being higher up here helps. I'm not exactly sure why, but you can kind of see it right now even, that it's pretty open up there right now. Of course you don't want to be, you know, right up in her face where she's dumping all the stars out, but I guess some way you can kind of see it actually. This batch of stars over here are kind of moving outwards. These batch of stars are kind of moving outwards. So maybe that's why it's so easy to hang out kind of high up in the middle there. But no big deal. Yeah, this is an iteration on a classic from Patchouli. We've got these moving lasers. I think this one actually tends to be easier. Maybe that's me just, you know, showing my skill issue, you know, being so new to, or not new, maybe not new, bad at touhou at least. With touhou 6, I panicked a lot with those jelly donuts. But as you can see, these big stars are a lot simpler to slip through. The timing, I think, is more obvious as well with the lasers. Or look at that, egregious. I just walked right through that big star there. And yes, they do. You might not believe it, but they can kill you. Like, wow, we. Oh, did I get? I don't think I got hit by the red star there. I think I got hit by a tiny star I went through. Yeah, I got hit by that little blue star. That's kind of funny. Yeah, yeah. Oops. Anyways, your last spell once again. I don't know if coming in clutch is the right phrase for that, but I'll move things along a little bit. Another pretty basic basic attack pattern here. That last part is really the only trick, is getting through the almost random barrier of stars that shows up. You'll see these pretty obvious, you know, lines with these big gaps. So like, please come through here to stay safe, and if you do, you'll be fine. So that's good news, isn't it? The only trick here is that big barrier I was talking about, is this stuff right here. There's no consistent way to beat this. You're just going to have to look for openings, and have a little bit of confidence in where you can and can't go, and boom, you slip right through. Don't be afraid to fall back a little on this one, like I did there. I let the pattern spread out a bit, make an opening more obvious. There's not a ton of pressure with this basic attack pattern. As you could see before, there's just kind of these lines of stars still, random stars scattered about. Doesn't really mean a whole lot when you're that far back if there's not that much pressure coming on you. So this is probably Marisa's most interesting spell, just because she does the Master Spark. Very cool. I really do like how Zun incorporated the bombs of the characters, the playable characters, in their boss fights here. But yeah, Master Spark comes out, and it's this huge, space control, screen denial, whatever you want to call it. You have to work with less space now because that dang old laser's taken up so much of it. Now, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't need to be pretty sure, you can see it pretty well here. The solid white part is the only one that'll kill you. This kind of translucent bit, clear bit here, you can chill in, get some grays, if only a little. That's where you should probably be hanging out. But yeah, you want to make sure, the important thing about this spell card is to just make sure you're switching your sides of the screen, because if you stay in the middle, the Master Spark will come straight down the middle, and it'll take up a ton of space, and you won't have a lot of space to maneuver around the stars, regardless of which side you end up on. Which, that's no good. You want to make things easy for yourself in these games, not harder. unless you're already really good at these games, and then you're looking for ways to make it harder. You can see right there, I was in a sticky situation. Luckily, the spell card was already basically over, but I would have had trouble dealing with that. This is her last spell, and it's a real humdinger. But we'll talk about it real quick. So she throws out these blue little sigils that land on the ground and shoot these lasers. I would say straight up. They're straight up in this case, but they're not always straight up. Sometimes they're at a little bit of an angle. And the angle is random, I believe. We'll get a closer look when it pattern develops more. You can see there's these layers of yellow stars coming out. The stars aimed at you in these little 3-star bundle formations. And then you have these big rings that come out as well. Generally, you want to have the 3-star batches stuffed together like this. You don't want to have them spread out by you moving around a bunch, because you're going to want to control your space very carefully here in order to ensure you have enough to maneuver around the laser columns that are popping up there. When you see I ran right into that yellow star, I was a little embarrassed. But it's no big deal. Yeah, you can see a pretty good example there. This one is aimed just ever so slightly to the right here. And this one as well, and this one's off to the left a bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So yeah, this is her trickiest spell card by far, I'd say, to deal with. No shame bombing there if you need to. Alright, here again, Zach from the future, from the past, from every angle, every blast. I'm here to show you the Marisa boss fight from the second run. Let's talk about how much fun I had with this game. So we're on the first basic attack pattern here, nothing too crazy. But, okay, what about... Right. Well, you've seen this back. This is not a super crazy pattern. I want to get to the ones that really make children cry. Like this one. Here we are. So you can see here, in the lane, going in towards the center, staying in the horseshoe. I don't know what I did. I just got through it before the stars became active, I guess, because I was certainly not outside the sigil like I said I was during that first run, first clear commentary. Don't do what I did, or if you want to try it, do that. But I genuinely got lucky there, so. Maybe if you want to be lucky, I guess do what I did. But you can see I'm chilling in the back there now. Ron is still beating the snot out of Marisa. Back towards the center, back towards my comfort zone, my comfort star aisles. It's a great time. This is exactly where I want to be. So now we're on to stage 5. We're inside Aente. Oh, this is it's just such a cool location, and we're not really flying through it yet, but you will see as we move further along in the stage, the background will shift and change. Yeah, the stages in this game, it's tough, right? Because I keep wanting to say things are getting harder, things are getting easier, and I'm hesitant. I'm getting more hesitant to do so at least because I can't tell if it's perhaps me getting better at these games and things that were difficult don't feel as difficult anymore, or if things really are just getting easier or harder. But the genesis of that comment was that I was originally going to say this feels again like one of the easier stage fives. I think I said something similar when talking about Touhou 7 as well. So maybe it really is just the game's getting easier. Maybe it is me getting better. Probably the latter, honestly. I would hope so. I feel like I'm getting better at these games. Oh, I got messed up by that there. Tewi is... This is a somewhat tricky pattern. I think it's a good time to talk about these little orbs here that switch between... So there's these red sigils. They're kind of stacked on each other here. You can't see them very well. But when you're in yokai form, they just look like these red sigils. So when you're focused, that is. You'll always be in your yokai form when you're focused in this game. You can't see them. You can only see these red sigils when you're in your yokai form, and they're inactive. They don't do anything. But when you... So I die, and then I respawn, and I'm back to Reimu, right? I'm in my human form, and then they show up. And now they're active. Now they can hit you and kill you. But you can also shoot them to destroy them, and that usually prevents some kind of bullet pattern from coming out of them. And it's important to mention because there's some really cool things done with it down the line. There's been some cool things done with it already. I just haven't been mentioning it because it hasn't been super critical to dealing with those patterns. I know Banus basic attack pattern uses them, and you can make that easier if you deal with it in human form. But Reimu has trouble with it just because of her weaker basic attack. If you're playing like Yomu and Yuyuko, you can get a lot more out of that. Yomu's basic attack is crazy strong in this, especially if you know how to aim it. It's a really cool basic attack. If I do replay this game, that's probably the team I want to use, which is kind of sad because that's another Marisa fight, right? I don't get to fight Reimu with that team, but gosh, it's such a cool basic attack. So here, I wanted to talk about those red balls real quick. There's not a lot to say about them. So you can kind of see here, this is what I'm talking about with the orbs, and this is kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, teasing almost, a mechanic that's going to show up in Aiden, the first bosses, the first final boss fight. But you can see these orbs here. They're on when this enemy shows up because I'm in human form. I'm Reimu, and then I shift to Yukari, and now I don't need to worry about breaking those orbs. I can instead attack the enemy directly. It's an interesting trade-off though, right? Because if you attack those orbs with Reimu and destroy them, you're making the bullet pattern easier to deal with. But if you switch to Yukari and just gun the enemy down as fast as you can, then you're preventing the enemy from spawning more bullets, right? Because the enemy's dead. So things get kind of chaotic there. I'm pretty sure this is one you can actually just chill in the corner on. Not this one here, but... Yep, here we go. Yeah, it might be kind of hard. So what I think the design intent here is is once these three they're not bunny fairies, I guess they're lunarian fairies, I'm not sure what you want to call them. You can't really see her right now, but there's this other one right here as well. And this one, these ones with the blue hair and the yellow dress, if you knock them out, all the bullets around them disappear. So what I'm guessing the design intent was for you to be in the center so you can kill her and get rid of a lot of this clutter, and it makes it much more survivable. Unfortunately, dodging this column of red orbs from the previous pattern has boxed me into this corner here. If I switch to Reimu, there is a gap here I could have pushed through, I'm sure. But I wasn't thinking to do that. I was just dodging in the zone. And I eventually just bombed out because, well, I'd rather bomb than die. But now we're on Inaba's fight, and it's for real and for true, for certain, that the stage 5 bosses in these games are always ridiculously cool. So many weird mechanics here. This is a great place to start. This basic attack pattern. Sometimes it kills me 3 times in one run. Other times I get through it like I'm not even being attacked. Effectively, it's these waves of bullets, these rings of bullets come out, right? And they're different colors. You got the red ones and you got the pink ones. And the red ones go one way, the pink ones go the other. See, the red ones shifting left here, and the pink ones ahead are going to shift right. And you're basically playing chicken. You don't want to panic. See, like that, I backed up there. That's not what you want to do. I almost hit a bullet and died for it, but thankfully I didn't. You want to stay in your lane like this and just make little adjustments left and right to keep out of the way of the bullets. It's not as easy as it looks or sounds. You can overcorrect and run right into another bullet. You can, let me finish talking about that. Let me pause for a bit. You can overcorrect and run into another bullet. You can follow your instincts you've built up and go backwards to try and get space, and you'll back right into a bullet that's behind you that wasn't before. But if you stay calm, shift left and right, little adjustments like you saw, you can get through it pretty consistently. Now, this is the coolest thing. This is what convinced me that all the stage 5 bosses in these games are freaking awesome. So Inaba's lunatic eyes shift the pattern of the bullets in some way, and the bullets are inactive when this happens. So great game design here. You get to see what's happening before it's any threat to you. You'd have to be a madman to be, up here on your first run in this game, throwing hands with Inaba. But yeah, see, now the eyes are shift, the bullets deactivate, and then they're active again. And this first pattern gives you a pretty good idea of what you want to be doing. You're just trying to use this free time, essentially, that the shifting pattern is giving you to get to a safe spot, which in this case is right up front there, in those gaps between the bullets. Now, I didn't do that there, and you can see I ended up having to bomb through it because of it. But if you stay up front in those gaps that it makes, you will be just fine. Here is another one. Basic attack pattern, super trippy. Will kill you 10 times over if you panic too much. No, come on now. It's screen tearing. Okay, get through that. Here it comes. So you've got these... Is that just always going to be like that? That sucks. Okay. Anyways, those rings come out and they look like they're just going to be normal rings, but this is Inaba we're fighting. So they're actually bullets, and they're going to make these little bunches of bullets. The bullets are always going to be around you if you're far back enough. If you're up close, they will just crash straight into you, and you don't want that. Wait a minute. Oh, no, 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 never mind. I'm thinking of a different pattern. No, this is as simple as it looks, actually. Never mind. That would be another basic attack pattern coming up. That'll what I've just said will apply to. But anyways, here we are, another spell card, another Lunatic Ice spell card. This is really do or die. You can't get through this one without utilizing the free time that the Lunatic Eyes gives you. As you can see, I'm back here now, and I end up bombing there, very disappointingly. And these are super difficult patterns to rebound on, because you have to find the right place to be. So here's the one I was talking about. These bunches of bullets come out, and they will just fly right around you. So again, do not panic. Do not move too much. Just keep your wits about you and navigate around the bullet bunches as they come to you. I bombed there, and I didn't need to. Completely unnecessary. And it's ruining my demonstration of this spell card, which is actually one of her easier ones to deal with, in my opinion. But let's talk about it from the top here. So, these rings come out from the corners, from these hexes in the corners, and you want to be in the center here, like so. And you're going to wait for the Lunatic Eyes, and then you're going to pick a corner. I always pick the bottom right, but you can pick any corner you want. You could even go to the top corners if that's if that's how you want to play the game. But once you do that, you're going to make your way inward and then upward. So there will be the bullets. So the bullets from the ring of the corner you went into will be heading outward, and the bullets from the ring horizontally opposite of you will be coming towards you. You want to follow behind the bullets from your corner and slip through the gaps in the bullets from the other corner. Again, probably easier to see it happen than explain it, but yeah, you can see right there, slipped through the light blue bullets that came from this bottom left corner. Dark blue bullets from the bottom right corner, the one I was sitting in, are all the way past on the screen now. And now we're going to move straight up the middle, past these green and pink bullets, just like that. And then we're back in the center, and we're ready to do it all again. And then I die anyway. Yeah, if you get hit by the bullets while you're trying to move between them, that nullifies any of the advice. So, make sure you don't get hit by the bullets. So here is another iteration of the Lunatic Eyes. This time, the bullets disappear, and you need to remember where the rings are so you know where to advance to when they disappear, because they will just start moving again. So here we go. They're gone. I moved up a bit. And the trick here is actually, at least for me, was to look at the blue balls on the sides and use them to kind of gauge where the bullet walls are. So, at least you just saw them disappear there. I'm pretty sure there's a gap here. Let's see. I move up. I don't move up that much, but I'm still not in the way of any bullets. Move up. In the gap, back up a bit, slip through, move up, back up, slip through, move up. I don't move up. I'm losing my space at the back of the screen there, but it's alright because we got the kill. And now we're off to stage 6A. And probably my favorite song in the game. I only say probably because the final boss B is incredible. Final boss B's OST, Kaguya's OST is incredible. But wow, I mean, it's certainly my favorite stage theme in the franchise so far, I think. I really can't think of another one that comes close to this. Voyage 1969, very good. So this is a pretty easy stage 6, and it kind of makes sense when you consider that this is meant to be cleared first. You're not supposed to be running on this stage a lot. Once you do get to stage 6B, the stager it'll be developing on the same patterns. So you'll see those red crystals with the blue arrows. I didn't talk about it much, just because it wasn't really. I think it was pretty obvious. There wasn't a whole lot going on when it was happening. But you kill the fairy here, and all the hexes disappear. A bunch of the bullets too. So you just kind of want to gun them down as fast as you can. I'm struggling to do that here, but believe me, that's what you want to do. Yeah, I end up having to bomb out. Upsetting. Oh, that's okay. So you notice here that the time, I don't, probably not worth pausing for, but the time score is over 0 now. I think that's because of what's happened in the lore at this point. Is we're now being trapped in the false moon, and so we're outside time. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop talking about lore for a bit. Talk about that spell card, because it's an easier one to deal with once you know what you're doing, and it's kind of one where if you don't know what you're doing, you're just gonna lose a life or a bomb to it. Okay, so we get through this basic attack here. So yeah, you'll see all these blue hexes come out, and they'll make a ring, and you want to be in the ring. You really do. You might think, well, nothing good can happen in the ring, but you're right, but it gets much worse outside the ring. So while you're in the ring, all these bullets will shoot outward from the outside of the ring, and you'll have these little white balls that'll come in these, clockwise pattern, clockwise shape, clockwise pattern. They're pretty easy to move around. Just kind of go with the curve. You see there, I kind of just went around like this. My problem here is that I wasn't paying attention to the new ring already being deployed. And as you see, I notice I tried to get in. I'm too late. I just end up having bullets spawned right on top of me, which is sad. No one should have to have that happen to them. You can be inside the ring and none of that ever has to happen to you. Important to consider. So here we are. Cool ass fake moon, fake space, fighting Aiden. What an honor. Yeah, I was playing this, and I was kind of surprised at how easy the basic attacks felt from Aiden. Just because, it's a final boss in a Touhou game. It's like, okay, gonna get real now. But, again, I can't tell sometimes. I hate to say it, I can't tell if I'm getting better at these games or if it's getting easier. I guess it's kind of the same thing when you really get down to it, but yeah. The spoiler alert, it's because this isn't the true final boss, so to speak. So here's your first spell card. You can kind of see it too. So you just want to stay still here, and the blue balls will appear around you and kind of give you a random space to work with. And then these green donuts and Xbox One stickers will come down from the heavens, from Aaron in the heavens, and you'll need to navigate through them. This is, not good. This is one of those. This is one of those times where if you don't know how to deal with the jelly donuts, you'll have to learn here. And well, it's not too bad. Honestly, this is not too bad. You can see the space it gives you to work with is actually quite generous. I'm pretty sure we were getting less space to work with on Marisa's last spell. And I can't say the last spell card. I can't say last spell because that's technically a different thing in this game, at least. But you can see things moving quite slow. Really got myself boxed into the corner there, but bullets heading out in a straight ring pattern. Slow moving jelly donuts. Yeah. It's kind of okay. Well, anyway, here's a cool spell card. It's kind of there's a sigil right in the center here, and it'll have this little pie shape. It'll start down here, and you get inside, and you want to follow it around. I feel almost demeaning explaining it because I kind of feel like that's intuitive for most people. But yeah, she'll start spitting out these little bullet bundles that you want to slip between, and I did slip between them, but I bombed anyway, which is very interesting. And I think I make a fool of myself. Yeah, okay, I'm sitting. Okay, no, I get back to the right spot. I definitely died at one point because I bombed there like I did just now, and I just went back and sat right here on the sigil. Just like died instantly after my invuln wore out. And it wasn't firing these bullets yet, of course. It wasn't that dumb of me, but yeah, a little funny moment. Hashtag touhou funny moment. But yeah, fairly easy, slow moving patterns here. You can kind of see I'm just moving back and forth. There's all these eggs, green and blue eggs coming out. Just go under the A and over the V. And we got, oh, let's look at that. Only a little bit. Only a little bit. Yeah, okay, that little red bullet got me there. See, very visually impressive pattern, but it kind of just, yeah, you kind of just have to deal with it as it comes along, huh? That's not good. Oh, there we go. Video froze for a minute there. That'd be really disappointing if my recording failed on the last health bar. Alright, so this is what I was hinting at before with the cool ass orb thing with the human yokai orbs here. So this is really where that gambit of destroying orbs to make the pattern easier or attacking the boss to stop the pattern at all, to stop the pattern, period, comes into play. And I'm pretty sure I realized the futility of it pretty early on. You can see I'm just shooting now. Now I'm assuming you can destroy them if you do shoot enough, because that's how all the other ones work in this game. But as you can see, the pattern is really interesting. She shoots out these jelly donuts, and whatever sigils they hit along the way, they activate, and they shoot out these I don't know, these black pills. Pink pill and red pill and blue pill. Redditor's wet dream. Run right into a red pill there. You can see all the, yeah, you can see them shake there as that jelly donut comes through. They all start shaking, all the pills come out. I end up having, I do bomb there just to give myself some peace. I'm doing very good at this point. It's for me, at least. It's got 4 lives and 2 bombs. This is very strong showing for me. But yeah, you can see that these donuts can end up generating some really hectic and erratic patterns. And you can see as well, Aaron just there did the old Remelia trick where she disappeared for a moment, so the bomb did not hit her. There you go. Aaron's dead, but of course she's not dead. She's a touhou final boss. We've got one more silly little gambit to go. It's not actually silly little. Yeah, this is the last spell. You're guaranteed to fight this every time, I'm pretty sure. At least when you're fighting Aiden here for your final boss. And it's really depressing here as well. Well, I shouldn't say depressing, but I don't know. I remember I'm pretty sure I did pretty good on this, and then like died in a very lame way. Like that. So I wasn't actually close at all. I think I had like 80 timer counts left. Yeah. Yeah, she's got a health bar up there, but I don't think there's any killing her. Yeah, I just got mulled over with 73 timer counts left. Well, you can see the spell collapses for some reason, even though he got hit by it. Make it make sense in the lore, I can't. It's fun. It's a really fun mechanic either way, because it gives you something to look forward to strive for on each stage, each time you're playing. But yeah, that's the end of the A run, the first run. It didn't say that or anything. It didn't say that you didn't see the ending card in this run, this replay. But you can get that ending whether you use continues or not, and on any difficulty. And I believe if you get that ending, you can challenge the B ending, the alternate ending, the Kaguya ending, with that team, the team you used to clear it the first time, and that difficulty. I don't think you can do it. So like you can't beat the game on easy with Reimu team for the first time, and then challenge it on Lunatic with Reimu team and get to go to Kaguya. You'd have to beat it again on Lunatic with Reimu team to challenge Kaguya on Lunatic with Reimu team. And same with the other characters, right? So if you beat it on easy with Reimu team the first time, you can't then go to Marisa team on easy to, challenge Kaguya. You have to do it both times with the same team, same difficulty. But that's it for that run. I'm gonna switch over to the other recording of the other run, and then yeah, we'll talk about it. See you then. Okay, here is hopefully some better footage of me dealing with the Tewi mid-boss. Yeah, I managed to slip through that first volley there. And will I slip through the second? Yes, I will. I almost ate it big time, going for those points. Now, I believe this is not the same Tewi, actually. I think that was a juiced up Tewi for the special stage. But I can't recall. I really can't recall. I guess I wasn't paying too much attention to what Tewi was doing, because yeah, I really couldn't tell you if that was different from the normal stage 5, or if this is different at all. Because no, this pattern happens the same way in stage 5. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I don't think that was any different than normal. Okay, let's skip ahead to the Racing fight. Racing Inaba. Ooh, skipped a little bit too far ahead there. Okay, let's see if I manage to stay as cool and calculated as I was that first time. Looks like it. Looks like it. So you see me running in there to the pocket, falling back, moving up, running into the pocket, falling back, moving up, running back, moving up, falling back. It's pretty simple. The only trick you need to watch out for is the bullets behind you. Don't do that yet. You can see, so we're up in the pocket there, and then we move back down, but you don't want to move down too quick because you'll run into these bullets, and that's not good. You don't want to do that. There wasn't too big of a threat there, but you can see those bullets, these two, closing in behind me. If I had moved too far back there, I would have been right between them. I would have run straight into them. It would have been very upsetting, very saddening. This is a basic attack pattern. We didn't have too much trouble with this. Here we go. That's an interesting one to talk about. Interesting spell card. I don't think I demonstrated this too well last time. So you can see I got pretty lucky there. I didn't get that lucky last time. I didn't have to do anything. I just died. But this time I had enough space, and the Lunatic Eyes triggered soon enough that I was able to move up into a new diamond, moving back, move up into a new diamond. I chose a very tight one, so I ended up getting a little scared and bombing there. But diamond, moving up, looking for a diamond, falling back, moving up, looking for a diamond, and it's clear. One thing to note is you need to be very careful when moving up to a new diamond, because, and I've made this mistake, if you move up too far and you're in one of these diamonds with upward facing bullets, you will have to move upward. And if you're in, say for example, this diamond, you will move into Inaba and you will die instantly, and it'll be very sad. Or you'll bomb. I guess you could bomb and use the invuln to fall back to a safe diamond, but I mean, you would prefer to just not do that, I assume, right? You wouldn't want to have to use a bomb whenever you don't need to. And that is a great example of how this spell card can be brutal to you. You look at the... I'm getting messed up. This is probably one of the hardest spells to bounce back from in this game, is because once the board is wiped, you just don't know where the safe spot is going to be, right? See, I'm in the back there. I managed to beat through it that time, but yikes, that was... I was 2 lives. I just lost on that basic attack, right? Anyway, here's this again. You can see, same principle. Move down to the corner, move left into the middle, move up through the green and pink. I'm doing it a lot cleaner this time. I'm not going to run into any bullets. I swears, this is going to be so clean. It's going to be so clean and great. I ended up bombing. Well, I just ended up bombing. I didn't even need to bomb. I'm pretty sure that was entirely just me panicking. Yeah, that was entirely unnecessary. Anyways. Push through that. I mean, we might as well. I'm going to pick up my commentary. The next stage is all new content, at least for the purposes of this commentary playthrough. But, yeah, you can see right there me mess up the rings I was talking about before, and those bullets appear right on top of you, and no, you don't get enough time to do something about it. Look at that right there. If you think you can see those apparate and react in time, you're a better player than me. What can I say? I can't do that. Okay, now this is pretty cool. You can see my time score was high enough, so I get to challenge Inaba's last spell here. Pretty freaky sweet. This is my first time dealing with it live. Not live, but you know what I mean. The footage you're seeing is my first time seeing this spell. Which, I don't beat it, but Hey, what can you do? Now we're on to stage 6, final stage, real. I managed to squeak through there, but you can see that this is going to be building upon the patterns from the previous stage 6 in increasingly difficult ways. You can see those fans of blue arrows with the red crystals falling. Although this time the red crystals are falling in straight vertical columns, or well, not straight, they're falling straight down, sometimes in columns. Which is easier to deal with, at least for myself, than the strange little, curvy wave things, whatever you want to call the pattern they were coming in last time. And you can see I'm being kind of brazen here with my my touchdowns going to get all my points at the top of the screen. But you need to be careful because the enemies will appear straight on top of you. And if they do, they'll just shoot those blue arrows right behind them, and you're probably not going to have the space to deal with it up there. So, just be cautious. And I'm getting forced into the corner by Aaron here, and I don't have any bombs, so I just end up dying. Not a very good handling of it. But I think this was my second time on this stage when I beat it. And the point of this is to show my first time beating all these things. So, I mean, I don't have everything down. It's kind of odd, honestly, is that as I've gotten better at these games, I feel like these commentaries have become less valuable, as it's more of me just kind of talking about my first experience with the game rather than any sort of expertise with dealing with patterns like I had with 6 and a little bit in 7. But we'll see. Maybe that'll change as the series goes on and as I play more of these. But enough, whinging about game skill. We're on Kaguya now. Check it out. This is great theme. We missed the moon. I mean, it's still there, but the big moon. Cool ass moon stage. There you go. So a lot of building upon Aiden's spells as well with Kaguya. You can see me getting hit by blue ball. It's still a fairly basic attack pattern, though. I know I died to it, but it's not too bad. This is another space control kind of spell. You want to find a good spot between the lasers. So obviously here there's this big one, and you use that space you decide upon to maneuver around the green stars. The green stars are just as not dangerous. I know I just got killed by them, but they are just as inconsistent, I guess. They're just as intimidating, but not truly damaging as they always have been. Oh, that is unfortunate. I did just go straight back and down to the right. Got hit right in the face by it. A little bit of another strange spell here. Kind of, and yeah, I got hit by it. So you've got all of these jelly donuts appear, and they dive inward and outward, I suppose, because you have these ones here coming in this way, and then these ones going that way, and this is like this, and then these are like that. I'm guessing they're color coordinated. Yes, they are. The green ones are moving around the screen counterclockwise. The blue ones are moving clockwise. And I guess at some point in their rotation, they just fly off course and head straight, down towards your neck of the woods. It's a little bit insane, as you can see. You might need to bomb there. This is not a go to this part of the screen to stay safe kind of spell. Oh, and you know, if you've seen my Touhou 6 video, you know I was upset to see Agni return to my Touhou games. And this time it's fluorescent and glowing and even more difficult to see where the actual spell is. But I don't think, yeah, I don't lose my life to the fire. I get gored with a laser, unfortunately. I think that is the only time that fire appears in this game. Well, you know what? I bet Moko has a flame spell or two. That would add up, wouldn't it? But I still haven't played any of the extra stages for these games yet. I do want to. I will challenge them at least eventually. But that I was kind of thinking would be sort of a victory lap of sorts once I've finished, Touhou 20. I'll go back to all these games and replay the extra stages. Or, well, play the extra stages, I should say. Yeah, another very rigid space control spell here. Hide between the intersecting lasers, navigate the rings of moving stars, or don't get hit in last bomb. This is an interesting one because this punishes your inaction, as you might have noticed just there. Oh, don't do it yet. This theme kicks ass, by the way. Man, did I mention that already? Anyways, these rainbow bullets come out. They're making these arcs, but they're actually converging inwards, and they're going to cross, and you need to get in right when the formation's at its tightest, right here. This is your sign to switch to your human character, your unfocus, and slip through the gap here. Because if you don't, you'll end up where I am, right here, and you'll slip right through. I certainly got lucky there. I won't lie. I distinctly remember myself going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I made it through that," and then only to run into like the straggling yellow, bullet later, of course. But yeah, you probably don't want to deal with that like I did. Yeah, this is another one of those fights that's utilizing these spirit orbs here to provide cover for the boss. You can see I'm attacking them, and I'm not breaking them, but I'm kind of just more concerned with attacking Kaguya. That's kind of just what I've defaulted to. If you attack these spirit orbs religiously, let me know. Do you feel like that's easier? Do you feel like it's beneficial to do that over attacking the boss? Drop a comment. Drop a like. Yada yada. Anyways, I'm talking over this beautiful death spell card. Let's talk about it a little bit. So this is all her last health bar, by the way. I mean, that hopefully was fairly obvious. But after running into the stray yellow bullet, like what can only be described as a goober, this rest of this pattern is really not too bad. You've got these lanes of orbs coming down, and you get these dark peels coming out to the sides, and they go off screen. They kind of merge together and come back on screen and head straight for you. So you can see the aftermath of one of those down there. They're crossing. You just moved up a little bit. The trick is, this is, her last health bar. You're going to be here for a while. You don't have all the space to just move back and forth like I am. You can see. So at some point you're going to have to make a play to get through, this, these um, waves of bullets, because you're going to need to get room back, you're going to need to get space back. And I end up bombing there, which is really sad, because I didn't need to yet. I mean, it's definitely a sanity bomb. This is a safety bomb. This is not like a do or die bomb. But you can see I slip through one column there. I'm in the middle. I'm looking to get through. And there's a gap here. If this was just all that was there, that's fine. But I've got all of this coming at me, so I don't chance it. I slip left. I think I was worried about hitting that green bullet or that blue ball. You can see I make it through, but I bomb after making it through. Maybe I would have had to do it eventually anyway. But I certainly didn't need to do it at the moment I did. Unfortunate. Oh, and that's really sad. Getting hit by that last blue ball like that. Okay, so here's some of you may have noticed I neglected to mention the time mechanic, not this time mechanic, but the literal 24-hour time mechanic in this game. So based on some ranking criteria, I'm not exactly sure how it works, you get a certain time score, and no, again, it's not this time score, but based on whatever rank you get, it advances time a certain amount, and a higher rank, a better rank, advances time less. If the time reaches 5 a.m., the game ends. I've never had it reach 5 a.m. I don't really know how you would get it to reach 5 a.m. I mean, maybe it happens more often. Maybe it's a bigger threat on Hard and Lunatic. But even, playing all the other characters, playing the game for the first time, not knowing how any of these mechanics work, I never had it hit 5 a.m. The reason I'm explaining this to you now is because we are about to, or at least I am about to, face down multiple last spells from Kaguya, the number of which are determined by how much time you have remaining at the moment that you beat Kaguya. So I've got 3 a.m. here, so 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., that's 2 hours worth of Kaguya spells to deal with. I think the smallest amount you can get, the least amount of time that can pass per stage, is 30 minutes, and there's 5 stages before this. So what is that? The game starts at 11 p.m., so you could get here at 1:30 a.m. at the earliest, I believe, at which point you would see all of her spells, I imagine. I don't see all of her spells. In fact, I'm quite happy with my performance here. I'm happy to say that I actually beat this first spell. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling myself. But no, I actually there's a lot more of these to go. And I die to literally the outermost bullet on the ring, and it's already, it's like, oh, fucking wrap it up. Time, you see, moved forward there 1 hour for failing the spell. So here we go. There's another one, and I hate to break it to you, but I die here as well. You can see, and that's it. Kaguya's like, all right, jackass, get out of here, and he throws your results screen at you. This big scary red text that says daybreak. I was like, I don't know what this means. Did I just fail? I didn't think I failed because it says all clear and it's got 5 grillion and your last time. So yeah, if you beat all those, I'm sure you get a hefty night bonus here. And if you're chasing high scores, this is probably super duper important to understand and know. But I'm just here for fun. At least for now. Who knows what I'll be doing in these games 5 years from now, right? I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, that is Touhou 8 Imperishable Night. What a game, honestly. I will say I've already touched a little Touhou 9. That's a weird game. That's a weird game by Touhou standards. That game doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me yet. but it's fun in its own way, but it's not really scratching the itch I'm looking to scratch when I'm playing these Touhou games, you know. And we'll see. I mean, I've made really strong progress on it already. I've got to the final boss on like my third time playing the game. Like I very nearly beat her. The first time I fought her, that third run ever in that game, just because there's the life system and there's rounds, and Reimu can charge a level 2 spell to do like a mini bomb, and it's a whole different game. I'm almost worried I'm gonna beat it too fast, and I'm not gonna know nearly enough about it to warrant making a video. But then again, those games runs go super quick, right? I've gotten through, that run that I almost won on was like 25 minutes. This one was not 25 minutes. This was about half an hour. So maybe it's not that much longer, but that much shorter, I should say. It'll be interesting to try and make a video on that, because there's not really set spell cards and last spells, and like there's not like, it would be difficult, I think, to make like a tips and tricks, good lord, tips and tricks on specific boss spells, specific basic attacks, tricky things in stage. You could talk about game mechanics a little bit, but I mean I couldn't talk about game mechanics for an hour or whatever. Oops, the recording looped. Just need some calming end of the game music. You could jump by me. Anyways, there's no reason to dawdle on it any longer. If you're watching, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for Touhou 9 if you care to. I'll be happy to see you there if you do. Peace.